has previously led senior HR roles at companies like IBM, ETV, IntraEdge, and Containserve. In her current role at Zewave, she is responsible for building and aligning HR infrastructure in India with global priorities and fostering a people-first culture across the APAC region. And she'll be guiding us on the role of CHROs in driving digital transformation. Please put your hands together and welcome Ms. N.C. Nimisha Srinivasan, everyone.
Thank you. I can see very, very less audience. I really don't know whether I require a mic because everybody says, always said I've come to their vocal cord by itself. So first and foremost, few things that I've noticed since when I landed here yesterday is that I wanted to give a big kudos to the entire EduSkills community. I am here for a reason and they have not figured me out in any season. So maybe, Subhajit, Paritosh, Vivek, Meher, Anshika and all of you, you all have done brilliant job in getting a really good line of speakers out here. And everybody was extraordinarily talented, be it the HRs, be it people from academia, be it everybody who entered, even from the ministry, from the government. It's been a very different experience for me altogether. I will not really require a slider because I've got a flight in some time and I have to be rushing back to reach till Chandigarh. So Shankat is waiting for me to go. But all the line of speakers who've come here, who've covered different variant topics here, have actually kept a crux onto how AI is more dynamic, how AI is not taking things that are static in nature. The topic that I've got here again is more aligned to corporate, which is CHROs in driving digital transformation. And when I say digital transformation, it is no more only connected to AI. It is anything to do what is digital and how digital skills, digital everything had started coming into corporate and how we started pulling it off. So just a quick background, I come around with 20 years of HR expertise. A decade of that was with IBM. All that I've learned in terms of education, of my learning to skill was from IBM. Because in IBM they give you an opportunity that every 2 years you can swap around. So even if it was in HR, how did I go about? I landed into talent acquisition. I moved on to HRBP, which is the business partnering. Then I went to compliance. Then I went to learning and development. Then I went to professional career course developments. From there on, I did something very, very interesting in terms of global partnering on roles on special projects, which is creating professional development and career framework journeys associated with universities. 20 years into my industry, I will say, what kept me always on, which every time I say, I definitely feel I have had a spark in me was that 20 years I have kept my connection with education too. So when I landed up in my first job, there was an industry visit that was happening from a college in Navi Mumbai called the Pillais Institute of Management, and they were checking in for some intern visit, and I was the deputed HR intern to assist them to do everything. So while they were leaving, the placement officer checked with me and said that our ma'am is going in for maternity off now. Will you be interested in coming and covering some of the OB sessions and HR sessions for the MBA graduates out here? Because we are looking for a visiting faculty. I think since then till date, that is a parallel career that I have always had. And the beauty that I have always found in this is that corporate does give you a lot of skilling. Okay, when you look at learning, I would say that from education, learn to skill. Skill to competency. Competency to capability. It is a ladder journey that you have by itself in terms of moving across. But your grassroots or your base of your foundation always remains to be learning. So once you are a continuous learner, that stays with you. So from that time onwards, I've never knocked a college door for any visiting lecture or any session to be done. I think it was just the presence that they have connected dots, and they used to always call me for a session to a college, and the only thing in life I've kept to myself myself, what my father had taught me is that whenever an opportunity comes and knocks, try and do it by yourself and always say yes. The rest of it you will figure out. So I think I really don't know how EduSkills even have founded me. And they just called me for a session to Pune, which they were conducting with all the CHROs. And then they connected with me and they said that you brought in a lot of value added inputs during the session. Would you be interested in coming to the advisory board? And today when I'm standing here, I could hardly think that I'll make it to the session to Shimla to travel and come here. I've got a 12-year-old daughter who is a national athlete, and she's played Asian Games for the first time in a very rare sport called ice skating. The first one that's happened in Dehradun. She's got 2 gold medals and 2 silver medals. She's 12-year-old, she made it, and she plays 2 different sports, which I've never seen. So she's an artistic gymnast, a rare sport any Indian generally would pick up, and she's a professional speed skater who came and told me that India really does not have girl ice skaters. I want to be one. So I think that is the curiosity that everybody was talking about. In parenting, when I was talking to yesterday, I was telling someone, there is a carpentry parenting wherein we really want to be stating that this is what I think your skill have to be, and this is where you can be, and I can support for you. And there is an open parenting where you will figure out and you will tell your child to find out what is the compassion, what is the passion that they have. I figured out, for me, it was more of education, learning, and academics related, wherein it is very difficult for me to explain that to her. So, moving on to the topic of CHROs and this digital transformation journey specifically, what I wanted to check with all of you coming from the industry is what is the difference. So, everybody, all of you, because you're from industry and academics, largely you would have already seen what has made difference when traditional or baby boomers moved to Gen Y and then to Gen Millennials, then to Gen Z, and now to Alpha and coming up Beta. What really remained, even though generations have crossed multi-generational aspect in terms, learning state, the technologies really became dynamic. Where during the timeline that I passed out as a millennial, a resume 4-page, everybody, I'm not too sure whether everybody hires like Zoho. Companies still ask for resumes. Gordon was very open in terms of telling that. And I know for a matter of fact that is something that Zoho as an organization have proven. We've been using Zoho in some of the organizations that I work in, and I know the principal that Sridhar, who's heading Zoho, actually have gotten there too. They are very practical in the sense they really identify very small town educated students who got that spark to come there, be at Zoho school and create the company. Why? That is a true story. Most of us, when AI came into picture, even when in industry, we did not tell that this is not something that I don't want to embrace on. By Indian nature, I think a lot of us have already learned that being static would put you there, and you will go down the road, and you get dynamic in every sense, and you embrace it, and that is how you will really match with the timeline, with the age. But we are all humans, the human touch remains, and for different folks, it's always different stories. So what would have worked for me and my organization, it might not be actually true for everyone, but there is an essence that will really go. So, the major problem that I've always seen as CHRO is like, the dynamics is changing at times. The CEO would give a job description to us, and he will definitely be expecting us to do the job, but there is something beyond as an organization that we have to go and deliver. And getting to that, search firms would struggle to get that person. Even the peers will not understand what have to come from CHRO. And a lot of it is changing, and it is as good as we all are trying to run a car wherein while it is on the run, we will have to change the wheels. And that is how dynamic we really have to get with things. So, my first question to all academic people out here is that with 500, Fortune 500 companies, 70% of it actually getting into AI trend of hiring, and as Shamkant rightly pointed out, 90% of hiring will be taken out by AI. How many of you are really prepared here enough wherein your students are trained on AI platforms on interviewing? So that is something that I really want all of you to, probably start thinking through, like what is the kind of training that you're providing every time there is an interaction between a professor and a student or in class, it's not generally AI-led. Though there are a lot of SPOCs, which has come up now, which is called to be the self-paced learning programs, which is very, very relevant. In academics or in universities, generally, the one-on-one connection is maintained. And students, to a larger extent, though that they are digital natives, all Gen Zs are digital natives, and they really know to use technology better than us, wherein I don't think the beauty with millennials is that we are not even shy about going and checking. Okay, to my daughter, I'll never bother, like she's 12-year-old, I'll never bother in terms of telling, okay, how did you use that Snapchat? What did you do in it? How did you create that? So that aspect, because this generation of millennials specifically have seen both the sides of the primitive, technology, as I see now in terms of the landline phone that the governor was talking today, as well as the mobile phones to a greater extent, wherein even a small child is able to really operate the digital phone really well. But the adaptability is something that we all have kept in ourselves, and that is the adaptation in the changing setup and in the changing environment that I would strongly tell you all. So as CHRs or as someone who's already having a decade of experience in heading HRs, I would definitely love to tell you what remains is the function as business leader. What is it that we are able to really keep it? That's the bottom line. What is there in the future-focused aspect for us? Coming up, what kind of business acumen that I come in? Right now, I represent an organization called Zybate, which is into creation of digital technical platform for insurance and FSS, wherein this is a 30-year-old organization, but we kept the first-time footprint in India, and we are going to create a center of excellence or a research and development center in Pune. And the hiring path that we have for Bill in the first, really 2 years itself is of 500. So that is the kind of employment that I've seen is always coming, wherein India is no more looked only as a place wherein we can get resources for cost effectiveness. It's also the talent that is more looked at with the kind of work that we've been actually being able to give it to the industry. So really having that business acumen to touch upon is something that you can concentrate on your students when they are getting out. So depending upon the varied, so on early age stage itself, if you can figure out what are the industries that they are interested in and how you are able to promote that industry specific knowledge, I think that's very key. Though there are, during my time of India, I would hardly remember anyone having industry talks. Now I see it is very, very in as one of the curriculum itself in the NEP too. Because, I go for co-creating the business school curriculums in a lot of institutes in Pune, and I've seen when we are revamping the curriculum itself, the industry presence and the industry inputs is something that they take very seriously. They would come and check with us, like, what is it that you are practically using? What you see is not included in this curriculum, and how would you recommend that we change it? So, that is what the business acumen is all about, the business strategy and development. The rest of it is all pillars. So many of my folks here was talking about, the human capital element definitely comes from the board as a leader for HR, the creator of talent strategy. We all are running something called as a rocket launch, wherein the exact of talent fuel is coming from you all. So we will not be able to launch rockets in businesses unless and until you will give us the right fuel, which is the talent that's coming from industry. So if we are able to accelerate, when we talk about AI, few things are always about how we are able to act, agility-wise, how we are able to get there, how we are removing redundancy, what is the acceleration, what is the amplification, everything is to do with speed and velocity. Yesterday, one speaker was rightly mentioning, it is not about like how with talent we can make it, it's all about within a given duration of timeline, what is the turnaround time within which you are able to produce that changes. What is it today? With everything in being there, so organizations, my organization for instance, you will be amazed to hear one of the AI strategy that the company as a whole is driven through HR. So that's something that I've noticed wherein it's no more that it's your business acumen skill. For me, it really made difference because by education I'm a software engineer and then I moved to HR. And I worked throughout with all IT organizations. So I will never say that education or learning goes waste. it will definitely help you building your skill, your competency, true ability to take it to the new way. So try and come and embrace the challenge what the industry is throwing to you in terms of getting, people are talking out here, it's AI now, you can give generative comments, it's already become generative AI. And more in trend, what we are seeing in industry on projects that we are doing today is more of agentic AI. So things have been shifting and moving, and try, change is the only constant thing. Try and remain dynamic with your students and help them to build it that way, and I'm sure that it's going to take you a long way. I'll definitely not extend the speech because this is more for corporate and how the corporate evolution is happening. Thank you so very much.